What's good, everybody? It is the moment that everybody has been waiting for, the final week of the NFL season. That's right. We are talking about the Super Bowl, the Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers. We talk about the matchups. We talk about the impact of the game. We talk about our X factors and who's going to come out with a trophy. Also, going to talk about some of the news this week and Senior Bowl stock up and stock down. So get ready, everybody. It's time for Enter the Lab Podcast.
My fault. What happened? I'm eating Popeye.
Mm-mm.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Enter the Lab Podcast. You back up here. I don't know what happened.
Exactly.
That don't just tripped.
It don't like you. That's all it
It don't
is.
mind me, man. Deuce, just go ahead and take controls for me. But look, let's go
Right.
ahead and get started, man. So it's Super Bowl week, and by the way, how you doing, E? It's a good Thursday.
Oh, it's a
See,
very
Harry,
good Thursday.
yeah. See, Harry, he's gonna come in a little bit later on in the show, but for now, get ready for Super Bowl Sunday.
Mm-hmm. You mean
A little bit
Usher's
sad.
Sunday?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna be a little sad. I'm gonna be very sad. Um, so dang, it's really about to be the end of the season, y'all.
NFL is about to go by. And then we're gonna have to start listening to mock drafts and who's
Are
up,
we already
who's
doing that?
down.
Are we already doing that?
I mean,
We're already doing
some teams already started doing that last year, but you know.
Man, shoot, you should have been with Spaces us this week. Like it's like we. First of all, I didn't even know Bears had. You know what I'm saying? Bear fans had Twitter. I didn't know Bear fans had Twitter. And, and the whole week we have been fussing with Bears fans. I ain't been fussing with them. I just sat there and listened. I'm like, oh my god, we just as worse than them. Talk about these quarterbacks. Like it is ridiculous, yo.
Yeah, I mean, look, they got they actually can go get they. I mean, right now the Bears technically control a lot of things um when it comes down to the draft. So they're gonna shake everything up. They can either trade Fields or they can either keep Fields, trade the pick. They can get Caleb Williams or whoever they want. I mean, just right now, it's a lot of speculation going on. So, I mean, we're going to see exactly, but I feel like they're going to hold those cards until April, and we'll finally figure out what's really going to happen.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Um, to be honest with you, like I'm not even in the arguing mood because at the end of the day, the biggest domino has not really fallen, in my opinion, and that's of
Oh
course
yeah.
Justin Fields. Like, what are the Bears going to do with Justin Fields? Like, we hear all the talks about him. Hey, we're not moving on from him, and say, hey, I'm not making a definite decision. But like there are arguments, reasons why you should let him go, but there are also arguments of why you should keep him and let him grow. And I think for
Mm-hmm.
that, it's going to be the biggest domino for a lot of teams this offseason, including y'all. I mean, look, y'all also are in the quarterback market just as Washington. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that dominant falls. And what's good, C. Henry? What's good, my boy?
What's going on, DT? What's going on, Lady E? Happy Super Bowl week
Hey.
to you guys.
Yes, yes, yes. Super Bowl. Well, it's Usher Super Bowl. So Usher Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
Last game of the year, man.
He's gonna be the highlight for me as well, man. I'm still having a hard time, man. I got my shirt on, man. We gotta let that shit go. You know what I'm saying? It's tough. It's tough though today. You know what I'm saying? It's bittersweet, but I'm here. We can talk about the game.
Yeah,
Exactly.
so you kind of came in on a little bit of mid conversation before we would get to the game and stuff. So I know you kind of noticed that it's kind of been Bears versus Commanders fans this week on Twitter, all about the number one pick and the Caleb Williams sweepstake. So
Yeah,
I'm not in that, man. I'm not in that. I'm
I
just
don't
in there.
really pay attention to the Bears fans too much. They're a little obnoxious. The Vikings fans, they're a little obnoxious. The only ones I used to even hear from were the Green Bay Packer fans. So this whole new wave of them being very boisterous, I'm kind of new to that too. But what's going on? What's the word?
I mean,
Agree.
basically everybody's, like, oh, we're gonna draft Caleb Williams, but some people on fan base like, nah, the Ryan's on the wall. You're gonna keep Justin Fields. But honestly, I don't know what they're gonna do because if I'm Ryan Poles, I legit have the most difficult job at number one. Then it
Mm-hmm.
could, turn the franchise around. Like either you stay with Justin Fields and you let him get another OC, another offense, develop chemistry, you get him some weapons and the things like that. He be with another defense, and
Mm-hmm.
eventually you gotta pay him 40 to 50 million because that's what the quarterback market is going, or you reset the market and draft Caleb Williams, who everybody's saying is generational.
Hmm. Interesting. I think that's an interesting point of view. Because with Justin Fields, I think that you could definitely move forward with him, but I don't know if he's proven enough for them to say that he's our guy. I don't know if he's proven enough for him to get a new contract that resets the market. To be honest with you, I don't think he gets that. I think whenever his time is comes up for an extension, there are going to be some folks who are going to get top dollar, and then there's going to be some folks who probably going to get some of that mid range money, and then it's going to be some folks who are probably going to be a little bit lower than that. I think he's going to be somewhere in a little bit lower than that or mid-range money. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to be funny, but I think the Chicago does hold the cards. If there are
Mm-hmm.
quarterback teams who are behind you guys who want to move up, they are open for business. One thing I have noticed from being in your commander spaces is that there's a lot of folks rocking those Caleb Williams chains, but they don't want to pay no type of compensation to move up to that one spot. And one thing I have seen over the last couple of years, when teams trade up into that number one spot, they usually, spend a little bit, even no matter where they're coming from. So it's going to be interesting to see if there is a trade and how much compensation is involved in that trade.
True,
Right.
true, true. I mean, I agree. We gonna see. Like I said, I feel like Chicago might hold out. Might might hold out on some things a little bit. We
They
probably won't
should.
know what. Yeah, we probably won't know what moves they make probably until April. To be honest with you, right before the draft. So
Right. I think if
they hold they gotta wait.
yeah, you wait this time period, you see kind of how the draft is going to play out, the folks' values and things of that nature. You see how many quarterbacks are going to be kind of raised in the rankings. You know what I'm saying? And you see possibly is there a market for one or two of those quarterbacks because if they're totally out on quarterback, man, they could possibly trade one or two times. I think Slim made that point in the one of your spaces earlier today. If they're not drafting one this time, you could possibly see them move once or twice within that top 5 or 6 picks and get a
Mm-hmm.
huge haul over the next couple of years. So I can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
They're gonna need a
agree.
couple players to keep up with us anyway. That's how I'm feeling anyway. That's how I'm feeling.
Yeah, yeah.
Lord
So
Jesus.
speaking of that, let's go ahead and touch up on the Senior Bowl last week. So let's talk about some of the stocks that went up and some of the stocks that went down for the NFL draft scenes for me. I'll go first. So watching the Senior Bowl, I was blown away by some of the defensive players, offensive line, and stuff like that. So the stock up, I'm going to say Quinion Mitchell, the corner from Toledo. His
Mm-hmm.
stock extremely up. Uh, you know, really hard to see, Mac players, have that type of skill set to come in and ball out like that, going up against Power 5 guys like that. And he's really impressive. Stock down though. The quarterbacks at the Senior Bowl to me, they was I don't know. I don't know about a couple. I mean, maybe Spencer Rattler, he flashed a little bit, but maybe he flashed because he was just the cleanest turd out there, you know? Like, I don't know. Like, I wasn't really blown away, and I kept hearing a lot of times, you know, some of the people were struggling in the week. Michael Penix, he pulled out, said he was kind of, you know, had a little bit of us, but he was kind of down at some points too. Bo Nix still struggling, some of the same stuff. So if you're trying to get like a backup quarterback, which is going to be more valuable now with all the injuries that happened last year with the quarterback position, you might need to bag and throw up a little bit with the way to play. Now I know it's very early. It's one expedition game. You know, it's first time. I don't want to overreact, but
you say if you looking for what you say if you're looking for a backup quarterback, this looks like the place you need to be. Is that what you say?
That will.
If you in the market for a backup quarterback, baby, listen, they got what you need.
I'm so dead.
So what do y'all feel, man? Like, who was the guys that got their stocks up who kind of disappointed you that week?
Go ahead.
I will honestly have to say I wasn't shocked about the quarterbacks. I would say that I think I expected a little bit more from Penix. You know, out there, but quarterbacks I wasn't shocked with. I'll say the wide receivers as a whole, and you know, I gotta be biased and say, you know, shout out to Ladd McConkey because he made him some money. With that, I agree with the CB from Toledo. And because somebody there's a Falcons agenda about Spencer Rattler. I want all my Falcons fans, don't you even think about it. Don't you even think about it. I will put you in the no. Some people are saying Spencer Rattler just because he had a little flash, but I'm like, this is the same Spencer Rattler that we saw at OU and that we saw at South Carolina. I am good on that. We're not doing that. We're not even going to say that. But Darius Robinson, the defensive end from Mizzou, I remember him playing against us, and just to see it, I'm like, okay, I knew I saw what I saw during that game. But yes, Darius Robinson, I feel like he made him a lot of buku money just by showing that. I don't know if he has an invite to the combine, because I do want to see a little bit more. Just more so like on the skill basis, just to see him loose and you know what his 40 is, what that split is, and I can go from there. But yeah, those were mine. Shout out to Ladd, shout out to that. But yeah, all the quarterbacks, I already knew Bo Nix was going to be poo cheese because he played at Auburn.
Well, I'm gonna say first and foremost, man, I'm gonna give a shout out to definitely one of the guys here from here, Roman Wilson. Seems like he made a little bit of money last week. I've been saying all over the whole season that my homeboy JJ McCarthy wasn't playing with any NFL caliber wide receivers the last couple years, and I gotta eat some crow there because they're talking about Roman Wilson being possibly a high day 2 pick. So shout out to Roman. I had him probably as a 4th or 5th round pick. It looks like he may go as high as the 2nd or 3rd round. So shout out to him. Again, a couple of players that you definitely mentioned. Mitchell definitely stood out to me. Robinson is definitely stood out to me because I'm definitely looking at defensive end depth and trying to look at possibly some guys who can come in and help the Lions out. Tavondre Sweat, the big fella from Texas, definitely made some money. I don't know if this year is a little bit light on defensive tackles. I'm not hearing a lot of folks talk about a lot of highly rated folks. He stood out to me a little bit. Again, the quarterbacks didn't really shock me that much. I think Penix, I was expecting a little bit more from him. Some folks said he had a good week and, he didn't need to play. Some folks, said there was less to be desired from his play. So, again, Spencer Rattler, again, hey, a lot of folks, there's a wave talking very, very good about Spencer Rattler. I don't know about that. The guy from Tulane looked pretty decent. But yeah, I wasn't impressed. Again, I'm gonna keep saying I think JJ may catch a couple of these quarterbacks, man. He might find his way in the top 3 of the quarterbacks. I don't know about of overall, but of the quarterbacks. So those are the folks who stood out for me from the Senior Bowl.
Yeah. Combine's gonna say a lot in pro days. So
Yeah,
can't wait for that because that's gonna be the
yeah.
meat of the season because the combines and the pro days are going to tell a lot. Gonna tell a lot.
The combine is the let's have a little drink. Let's talk about some compensation. That's that
Yeah,
time. That's
exactly.
my favorite time of the year. Also, want to give some honorable mentions. Talk to Bill Carroll. If those who know Bill Carroll on Twitter, he's former scout HBCUs. He also told me that the center from Oregon, Jackson Powers Johnson, also had a great week. The
Yeah.
only rep that he really had a struggle with is my boy Michael Hall from the Ohio State. All right, so that's all for the Senior Bowl. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the coaching stuff that's happened this week. So for those that watched last episode last week, it was breaking news that obviously we had hired Dan Quinn, and there was news popping up about Chip Kelly possibly being OC. Well, now all that stuff has changed because now Cliff Kingsbury is now the offensive coordinator for the Washington Commanders after he gets out of his deal with the Raiders and Magic Johnson convinced him to become the OC for the Washington Commanders. So I'm going to ask my crew, what are your thoughts about Cliff Kingsbury now being the OC back in the NFL under Dan Quinn? And does that signal Caleb Williams to DC?
Air raid. Hey, y'all gonna be air raid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hey, to run that system, who else? When you think about it, if you look at the quarterbacks that we have to really choose from in this draft, like I mean, 2 and 2 equals 4, right? 2 plus 2 equals 4. So I'm just saying, I just hope Dan Quinn has a succession plan for you guys. I just hope that's going to be the biggest thing because if Cliff comes in there and can do things with a young quarterback, have Caleb Williams, I ain't gonna say look like CJ Stroud, but have Caleb Williams have his own special rookie season as a quarterback, take y'all far. Y'all not gonna have him that long. You see, first year coaches were getting interviews this year. He already been a head coach before. So I'm just saying. I hope Dan Quinn really legitimately really has a succession plan. Y'all are in a situation where y'all have to really, really, really plan, and y'all got to really think about all of your picks because who's to say the way this NFL is moving this year and the way people are snatching up coaches left and right. Y'all have a tremendous season, yeah. And I just want to say this to the Cowboys fans. Y'all are petty as hell for blocking Al Harris from going to the Commanders. Y'all are petty.
I was hurt. I was hurt, yo. I wanted him.
Jerry said, "Oh no, you're not."
Hey, but you gotta protect your coaches. Can't
listen,
give it to your
man. Listen, you're not gonna poach the whole staff. Y'all got to do some work over there. Y'all got to do something. I'm not gonna be able to poach every damn body. Good Lord.
Poach it.
Jesus. Kingsbury, man, you know what, man? I just need him to open up a school for NFL coaches interviews because he seems to be able to pass every one of his resume on the field just really does not scream boy wonder, boy genius, extravagant. But again, he gets another opportunity in a very, 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 a bidding war, if you will, for his services. You know what I'm saying? So again, he needs to open up that school of NFL interviews. Give my boy Eric Bieniemy an honorary a scholarship to that school. Give him a chance to take that class, that course, so he can overcome whatever shortcomings he's coming up with in interviews. I don't know what to say about it. It would mean it to me, on the surface, it seems like maybe they are going to, go after Caleb. But again, with that being said, what are you willing to give up to get him? You know what I'm saying? Is it going to take a couple of first round picks? Is it going to take, 3 or 4 different picks from a couple of different years? What exactly are you guys ready to give up to get him? And again, if you don't get him, what is the master plan? I've heard Drake May's name. I've heard Jaden Daniels' name, but there's really no consensus as of now. And it's very early about who's the number 2 quarterback, if the number 2 quarterback is necessarily the number 2 player overall in the draft.
Yeah.
Again, I feel like there's a couple of different ways you guys can go. It's still very early in the process. So, man, I just like the way this train is revving up, baby. I just like it. I like the way it's revving up.
1 and 2 battling. That's what's going on.
Yeah.
They are battling.
It is. So here are my thoughts. So I'm gonna be completely honest. I was not the biggest Cliff Kingsbury fan. I've seen, some of his offenses, they kind of stale out during the mid-season, wherever it is. And then, the relationship with Kyler Murray kind of fell off there. But at the same time, as much as I was like, I don't know about Chip Kelly, the one thing I can say about Chip Kelly is he adapted and changed his philosophy when he went to the 49ers. The only problem was that 49ers team, roster-wise and overall, that just was a bad team. And he just got the boot, and he went back to college and still had the change in his philosophy. Still some of the stuff you see from the Oregon days, but not as much as no huddle with all the speed and stuff, more methodical, more power run game, gaps, going more under center, play action, and some of that stuff. But this is probably the one thing I'll probably give it a chance because it is something unique. And the one thing that Dan Quinn said, anytime he played him, he was difficult to go up against, just like when he went up against Kyle Shanahan. But even though I don't think he's nowhere near Kyle Shanahan for all the stuff Kyle has done.
I don't think so either.
But it's interesting to see how this is going to work. We also just hired Brian Johnson today. He's going to be the passing game coordinator. So two guys that are apparently quarterback whisperers, and they know how to get the best out of the quarterbacks. Now, I also think like this. As much as we know Cliff Kingsbury history with the air raid and him being with USC last year, I don't necessarily think it's going to be all in for Caleb like people think. Because now when I look at it, Washington has the leverage not to trade up for the number 1 pick because, in my opinion, I believe all 3 of these quarterbacks fit this offense. If you look at the history of the air raid, Phil Longo, the offensive coordinator for North Carolina and current Wisconsin, he is also a disciple of Mike Leach. And Sam Howell and Drake May have both run this system in college. And, looking at when Kyler Murray is in the NFL, Jaden Daniels has that same skill set. So it gives me a way to be like, okay, look, y'all may try to get all our picks that way. I can just stand put. And I know my offense will probably work with these 2 guys because I know I can adapt to these players' skill set.
The only pushback I will have against that, and I do think that there are some concerns because on Cliff's first go round, I did hear that folks said that he was slow to adapt his offense to some of the adjustments that defenses would make in game, as well as further along in the season. It seemed like teams got a little bit of did a little bit of their homework and were able to scheme up some things. He ran plays basically to the same sides of the field, or he didn't really adjust his routes, and things of that nature. So maybe he's kind of fine-tuned those points. But I will say this. I think that, again, it's so early in the process. And the way I look at your team, and I'm sorry, I'm just looking at it objectively from the outside, there could be another position that they may want to go. If you aren't sold on anybody but Caleb and you can't go up and get Caleb, I shouldn't say sold on anybody in terms of the quarterbacks, and you feel like the one of those tackles or Olu are the next player, do you make a move there? And if that does happen, what is your backup plan at quarterback, or what is the plan at quarterback? And can you deal with Sam? Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I have some reservations about some of these quarterbacks. And from what I saw from Sam last year, I don't envision Sam handing his job over just like, you know what I'm saying, whatever. You know what I mean? I think this player, whoever it may be, unless they just, say, hey, we're in full rebuild mode. We don't even care who gives us the best chance to win. We're handing the keys to the offense to this one kid. I think there's going to be a chance that Sam can definitely be your starting quarterback sometime next year, either at the beginning of the year, either, for the duration of the season, what have you. But he's a competitor, and he's going to try to get that, keep that job if possible. So I think it's definitely a good idea to have a coordinator who has some background similar to what, Sam has done well and played well in a system that he's played well in. Now, with that being said, the biggest problem last year was the offensive line and the lack of balance for a young quarterback, whoever it may be. Was it Sam or somebody this year? Does Cliff Kingsbury bring that type of play calling to this offense and to this team? A style of offense that, yes, can be hopefully successful, take advantage of the weapons that you have, but also be young QB friendly. If the line isn't where it needs to be, or if the quarterback isn't where he needs to be, mentally. Can Cliff run a QB friendly offense?
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest question, because even though they did have a high rushing rate at Arizona, you also got to think about, if you take away Kyler Murray, how much of that success is from a Kyler Murray outside the 1 year from James Conner, who had 1,000 yards and 17 total touchdowns. Like, how much of that offense is going to the running backs more than the QB run game, which we see now? Like, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be interesting as well, because all three of these quarterbacks have rushing ability, but I don't want to run them to death. And I think Brian Robinson, he is a good running back. He should have had 1,000 yards this year. He had 1,000 yards total, but he should have had way more of that and more rushing touchdowns. So this is going to be something I'm going to have to, once I see more of the pieces being put for the offense, especially in the O-line, and probably add another receiver. Maybe they try to bring back Curtis Samuel and probably add a tight end. We'll see how, is looking, where they want to go with the quarterback position.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot that has to be, there's a lot that has to be set in place when it comes down to you guys. Like it really does, because at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you're getting the right guy that's gonna fit, but then you also, that's why I said a succession plan, and that's where Dan Quinn failed at when it came down to the Falcons. We didn't have one. Once Shanahan left, you bring in Stark, but you literally had LaFleur sitting right there as a QB coach that you could have just promoted, who literally learned under Shanahan, that could have possibly ran a similar system to him. But then you go in and go bring Sarkisian in and expect him to do exactly what Shanahan did. So that the thing is, when it comes down to it, you have to look at everything on the basis. What's gonna work for your OC now, but what can also work for another OC that comes in, to where we're not having that. And I think that's where it kind of got mushy too with EB. I know EB's it can be a good offensive coordinator, but was Sam who was needed for EB to make his system work, or was some of the players on your squad was what was going to be together to make his system work? So it's a lot of it that has to take place and have to take prior. Like this year, I'm not going to lie, for y'all, for the Commanders, y'all have to get it right. Y'all have to get it right, or it's going to be a carousel going on for years until y'all finally get it right. But y'all have to get it right, especially when you got people making fun of y'all that y'all got a whole NBA basketball front office that coming over to the NFL. So again, we just it's like I said, time will tell. Time will tell. And I know somebody, I don't know who said it, but somebody was saying something. I think it was Sehan that said something about Kyler Murray. I don't, be honest with you, I didn't think Cliff was the right person to go over there to the Cardinals in the first place, to be with Kyler. In a whole sense, I didn't see it. I mean, he wasn't even a coach when they actually hired him. So I think they were just trying to see, because and correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't before he got fired, wasn't he the head coach when Patrick Mahomes was at Texas Tech?
He was.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, and I think that's the whole thing. I think because we see what Patrick Mahomes is in the NFL and know that Cliff was his head coach at Texas Tech. I think a lot of people wanted to replicate that and to give to try to say like, well, we got the guy who made Patrick Mahomes. Maybe he can help make this guy be something similar to Patrick Mahomes. And we got to realize Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Kyler Murray is Kyler Murray. You know, Caleb Williams is going to be Caleb Williams. Drake May is going to be Drake May. The problem is can the OC develop and have these guys look good in what they do? And then for you guys, just in case if this something happens to where you lose Cliff in about a year or two, or maybe 3, who can come in to keep that train moving? That's what it has to be looking like. You have to, like, I know a lot of people want to say things about these top players and generational players, but you can have those, but you have to make sure too that you have the talent on the coaches that can help keep that going. Because I think we've seen it before. Go ahead.
And I will tell you this though. I think that's a good point that Lady E made about the continuity of the situation. But even if you just look now, I love the hire of Brian Johnson, the guy who came over from Philadelphia. He only was an OC for 1 year, but he's the quarterback coach who's been kind of helping Jalen kind of grasp things and move forward those first couple years here in the NFL. But he also comes from a totally different offense, has a totally different set of eyes, has a totally different mindset on what he thinks an offense should, what an offense should be. He's not the coordinator, but just to have that talent and that mindset in the room, I think is going to strengthen the room. Because I think one thing that we definitely have to find out about Cliff, and I think he definitely benefited from coaching under Sarkisian last year, was getting that experience under a pro style coordinator. One thing that we've seen, he's a bright young mind, no doubt about it, but he isn't from anyone's coaching tree, and I don't know how much he's been mentored. Again, we see he know how to get a job. He can go in there and he can wow you. You know what I'm saying? He's clean. He looks very, very well spoken, and he looks like he can definitely be an interior decorator if this football thing don't work out. That was a badass house that he had on the.
It was.
But with all that being said, him working under Sarkisian last year, a guy who's had success in the NFL as well as with college football, running balanced attacks. Again, you guys bringing somebody like Brian Johnson to that room, a guy who comes from somewhat of a run-first offense, if you will, in Philadelphia. Having that balance, I think, is key, and he's a guy that possibly could be somebody who, can keep the continuity going if Cliff Kingsbury gets a job after this job. If he does a good job, he might be out here like E. Beasy. You never know.
The thing about it is, I know, so we can move to the next topic. But
what you saying, man? I see your mouth move on. What you saying, man?
I know you saw my tweet this week, bro. I'm so tired of this EB stuff, man. It is what it is.
Hey, man, listen. The thing about EB, man, listen.
Hey, OG,
one day y'all don't want him. The next day y'all wondering why he talking to the Kansas City. One day, like, which one is it? Y'all don't. You know what I'm saying?
Man, I don't even care about that. They needed that.
Up to the facility every day. He didn't know if he was still hired or fired. He didn't know if he had a job. So y'all talking about he driving up there every day.
Hey, Baltimore ain't that far, baby. But look, OG, you were right, man. Look, it is what it is at this point. Like I think he is still a good coach, but he knew the risk he was taking coming to Washington, knowing we don't have consistent quarterback play, knowing that our offensive line was not all the way there, knowing we don't have some of the pieces for him. It is what it is.
I would say this about EB, and I'm gonna leave him alone, man, because I feel like I'll be picking on him a little bit, man. But you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be picking on the black man. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm pro black, baby. I'm pro everybody getting a job, everybody getting their shot and everything. Huh?
It's Black History Month too.
It is Black History Month, man. Y'all, hey, listen, man. He did know, and I feel bad that he had to take that risk. But I just really feel like he should have held on one or two more years and tried to see if one of these other jobs opened up. But what's crazy is somebody told me that, once Andy Reid retires, I guess he's in line for that job there. And I just find it hard to believe that Kansas City would let someone of that ilk, if they felt so highly about him, walk out the door. I just really do. Maybe he'll catch back on with them. But I can't put my finger. I don't know why. I don't know why
Andy
he
Reid
hasn't.
was the reason why. Andy is all about giving people opportunities because Andy had to get an opportunity. You know what I mean? So I feel like Andy probably said, "Look, take that opportunity. Maybe that could be a better for you to get out. Not be underneath me as a head coach, and we can see because Andy probably knows what he can do. And he probably does, and he probably just told him that would be the better way to go.
So here's my question. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I got to ask.
You good?
This how I be feeling. If Andy know what he can do. That's a great statement that you made. Do Andy believe that he'd have won? Because if he believed he'd have won, then he wouldn't have no problem letting him get hold of them sticks and letting him call them plays. Because Andy can't do it fast. Is you the one or not? So I gotta ask you, Lady E. Yeah, he believed and he know what he can do. You absolutely right. He believed and he know. Do he believe he'd have won?
Hey, he probably didn't believe he was the one at Kansas City, but probably believe he'd have won somewhere else. What did the Matrix say? He's talking about Leo. Is Leo the one? He got to pick the red pill or the blue pill.
Well, listen, if they care about him, come and get him. Like DT said, Black History Month. If y'all care about him, come and get him. Because he wandering. He wandering now. He just pulling up to y'all practices, doing install on your plays, and y'all just letting him. Just give him a contract or something. Give him a contract or something. Make him official. Make him official. Did his car? How does car still working? How he able to get through all the security and the doors? How is he able to do all that? He in there installing plays. Hire that man. Offensive consultant. Running back coach assistant. Somebody.
He said, did he just say offense? He said a consultant. That's nasty word for real. He said
executive towel boy. Help my boy out.
It's executive towel boy is crazy.
Help my man's out. Chalkboard extraordinaire. Whatever y'all want to call him, help him out, baby. Help him out. In Jesus' name. Amen.
Look, bro. All I'm just saying is, bro, this man had 18 plus interviews, and he had to make a lateral move. But of course, we're the ones that gonna castrate because we're like, we don't like his play calling. It's like, it's Washington. What if he had did that somewhere else? Then what would have been the narrative? You feel me?
They might would have gave him one more year.
I'm just saying, let's be honest though.
Situation though, but the thing is, he knew the situation walking into Washington. Out of all the teams, and this is no knock against Washington at all, but out of all the teams he could have picked, he knew that Ron Rivera was more than likely on his last leg. Something had to be promised to him for him to even go that way and take that route.
I don't think that was opportunity.
Hang on,
opportunity.
I know what was promised to him. Ron was going to get fired. It was a deal in place by the old regime. He was going to be head coach. New regime said, nah.
If you fire when you fire somebody, right, and he has no track record of success with you guys, right? Mm-hmm. Really, we don't know what he can do in Philly because they saying he ain't calling no plays. We don't know what he can do on Sunday. So really, who will? Maybe Dan. Maybe Dan will put something in place like that. But but come on now. If the person who want me here get fired, I'm probably packing my stuff up too. So I don't even understand where everybody was asking, where is EB or is he still employed? No. Just like everybody else. When Ron got fired, everybody else started packing their stuff up. Everybody else started. Hey, wife, listen, we need to start looking at some schools. We need to start looking at, you know what I'm saying, call a real estate agent. Somehow, you mean EB was waiting on a special call from somebody? Hey, EB, turn your stuff in. You ain't got to come in no more. Is that what you're telling me? I'm just saying, man. Why?
They interviewed him.
That sounds like a old Washington thing, though, right? It sounds like to me they wanted EB to be the head coach, but I feel like And for what I've seen, report-wise, it was an article. I'm gonna have to find it and show y'all later. New Dream said, "Nah, that's not gonna work out. We're gonna go in a whole nother direction."
Yeah. That's all I'm saying is don't let that man be diagramming plays for free for y'all. Y'all go ahead, give him, if y'all letting him in the building, go ahead and sign him up and give him a check. That's all I'm saying. Black History Month, like DT said. Show some love. Show some love up in the club. He just out here volunteering, diagramming plays.
Now I gotta play.
You know what? Let me get that chalk from you. Let me show y'all something.
Look, now I gotta go play Usher.
Let me show y'all something. Let me borrow that chalk, Annie. Let me borrow that chalk. Show y'all how to do this.
Yo, this
somebody
is
come get somebody come get him. Somebody come get him.
Man.
Hey, all right. Let's talk about the big game on Sunday. 49ers, Chiefs. Let's go ahead and talk about the non-quarterbacks that you think need to have a big game.
I'm going to jump out right here. I'm going to jump out. It's not going to go too far on the limb, but I'm going to say the most important is going to be the running back situation, CMC and Isaiah Pacheco. Both of these teams, both strong defenses, but both of them show a little bit of inferiority when it comes to stopping the run, I believe. San Francisco is 21st. I believe Kansas City is 25th. I may have them mixed up. Don't get me wrong, but both of them are in the bottom portion of the league in terms of stopping the run. And again, though, when you look at San Francisco's offense, it's very, very important for them to have that balance. It's very, very important for them to feel comfortable. It's very, very important for them to be able to have that run-pass option. And it all starts with CMC, man. CMC is the key for them. And I think Pacheco is the key for Kansas City.
Yeah. I'm going to say the wide receivers for Kansas City. I'm going to say that. We all know that they've been inconsistent. Even Kelsey has had his off days. So they're going to need that tremendously. And I will agree with the running back situation because Kansas City defense can be very stingy when it comes to the run game. And they have been they haven't been making splashy plays, but they have been the most consistent defense that, it's just something about them that a lot of people just can kind of look at and be like, okay, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. They make the stops that they need to make, even though it may not look like it. And statistic wise, they may not be up there with everybody, but at the same token, they still are a very consistent defense. So I do want to see that. Yeah. I know we said non-quarterback, but I'm sorry. Purdy gonna have to prove something. That's all I gotta say.
Prove it, Purdy.
You on the
PIP, prove it, Purdy.
Hey, I'm just gonna be honest with you. The jury's still out. Here goes the biggest test of if Cam Newton was right, or is
but game managers, we've seen game managers win playoff games and Super Bowls before. We've seen that. That can happen.
Not everybody can be Nick Foles to beat the greatest with the RPO either. So
you know what I'm saying? Nick Foles, Jeff Hotz,
it was a shootout. It was a shootout.
Trent Dilfer, you know what I'm saying? Brady's first 1 or 2 was a little game management-ish. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man. Both things can be true, but he got to play. He wants to play a good game, though. DT, who are your non-quarterback factors?
Hey, man, I gotta go with the trenches, man. Look, it's all about the offensive line. So look, we look at the 49ers offensive line. You got Trent Williams, and no disrespect, you got everybody else. But when we talk about as a unit, I would take Kansas City for the continuity overall this year. Yeah. And I like the guard play. I like the center play from Creed Humphrey. The tackles are okay. They can get the job done. They are Charles Leno's at tackle. They got two Charles.
Don't disrespect them like that. Don't you disrespect. They in the Super Bowl.
What you mean? Charles Leno's a top 15 tackle.
We're not even gonna get into all that. No, they not no Leno. We're not even
So
going.
Charles not top 15 tackle?
No, y'all, man, listen, man. We started this conversation 2 years ago. Y'all was talking about the offensive line from
that is CJ. That is CJ. I've been defending the Lenos all year.
Listen,
I said,
listen, excuse me. Disrespectful. Leno name is for draft when we talking about his possible replacement. We ain't talking about him Super Bowl Sunday. We Super Bowl. We ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing to Leno about. This is all about these boys from KC and San Fran.
They got 2 tackles that can do just enough. They got 2 tackles to do just enough. So that's going to be interesting for me because both of the front sevens for the 49ers, they kind of been struggling a little bit trying to get to the quarterback lately. Chase Young, I'm looking at you, obviously, not because you came from my team, but effort-wise, like, I will root for you, but lately you have not been showing effort on the field, and they're talking about benching you. Then Kansas City defensive line, they're able to get the quarterback. They were second in the league in sacks. Whose offensive line is going to do enough? How they're going to combat? What are the schemes from Kyle Shanahan, Andy Reid going to have against these front sevens, and how they're going to move the ball in these front sevens? Those are my non-quarterback factors for this game.
Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. I look at this game and it's hard to kind of size things up. So many teams have so many good strengths. Linebacker play in this game is going to be key. We got Willie Gay and Nick Bolton. I hope Gay is healthy enough to play. I don't think he played last time he played, but if he's healthy enough to play with Greenlaw and Warner on the other side, guys going to be flying all around. 2 great defenses, and again, I just keep going back to that run game. And you said the trenches, DT. We were able to have some success against San Francisco last week. We had some success against Kansas City week 1. I think it is imperative whoever can take control of the trenches and stay committed to the run. That's where we went wrong. Only running the ball 8 times in the second half. That's what we kind of went away from what we did to get that lead against San Francisco. We saw last week Kansas City run the ball 24 times with Pacheco. He only had 68 yards. So they had plenty of reasons to quit running it. But they stayed committed to that, and they were able to shorten that game and shorten the amount of possessions that the Baltimore Ravens had. I think they dialed up kind of the similar recipe to San Francisco, try to slow down that offense a little bit by shortening the game, being physical up front, and running the football. So looking forward to this, man. And who is Mahomes going to find and make a great story of this week? Is it going to be MVS? Is it going to be Justin Watson? I see Sky Moore got activated from IR. Is Tony? Is he the number 1 receiver in the league? Is he going to be activated for this game? Darius. You say he's gonna
try to take a shot. You're gonna try to take a shot at anybody you can because you still trying to figure out how Dan didn't go for it on them field goals.
I'm just saying, my man said he had number 1 receiver if y'all throw him the rock. What the hell wrong with y'all? That's what he said. I'm just like, are you gonna be active? Because we can't throw it to you if you ain't even active. We can't hit you in street clothes. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, you damn right, lady. I'm still mad. You damn right. Let that shit go. Let it go. Let that shit go, Carlton. Okay.
Oh my God.
Can't with him. I can't. Because he gonna be like this. He gonna be like this until his team actually gets back.
Bro, I ain't gonna lie. If I lock in like that, I'll feel the same way, bro.
Hey man, listen, he's
right there. I did feel that way.
You know what I'm saying? He's right there. Listen, man, they gonna tell us that we're gonna be right back. Last time it was 31 years. That's all I could. Hey, listen. Shit.
I wanted to call that.
Okay. And he ain't look, he got the shirt on and he ain't letting it go.
I'm trying to. Every sip makes it better.
All right, so let's go ahead and do some overs and unders. So, wait, do I even have that up here?
I saw it at 47.5. I don't know if it's changed. Let me take a look real quick. I've been all over the place. Again, I don't know. I'm still deciding who I think is going to win. But, because of the 2 defenses of these 2 squads.
Yeah.
Especially after last week's game, that Baltimore-Kansas City game, I was extremely impressed by both defenses, and we know that San Fran can score points. They scare me. They scare me because they have so much weaponry. Again, last week Purdy did have a bad half. He was aided by a drop interception that turned into a 51-yard catch. We didn't give up 300 last week. Maybe with L'Jarius Sneed and that KC team, maybe they can keep them under. But if it's interesting, 47.5.
47.5.
You know the line is gonna move once they start putting out the reports of who possibly may not play and all of that.
Yeah, but for now, I'll probably take the under for real. I think it's gonna be a defensive game.
I do too. I don't think it's. I don't. Yeah, I'll take the under. I wouldn't. I don't. I mean, again, Kansas defense has been stingy, but they've been consistent. You know, they have given up big plays. They have, but I don't think they've been giving up big plays like that in a sense of how the way we done seen the 49ers kind of play this playoff run against Green Bay, against the Detroit Lions. We haven't really kind of seen. And really that Green Bay game, if Love didn't have his Brett Favre moment, that could have been they could have been sent home right then and there. So again, I'm not gonna say not to be afraid of the 49ers defense, but that's kind of like for me, I'm not gonna sit over here and say that I'm not gonna be afraid of it because you know that can turn around when you're playing in the Super Bowl. Like you can get a team that may struggle and all of a sudden they the greatest. So, but I would just say that I believe both defense are playing. Like again, if the way KC, in my honest opinion, can lose this game is if Patrick cannot, if Patrick can't get them wide receivers to going. If he can. Right. And then I get it. They can shut down or try to shut down Travis Kelce, but at the same time, Kelce got to be in there too. He got to be in there. You can't just rely on Pacheco. I feel like Pacheco's been consistent, even though he's been hurt, but I feel like he's been consistent with the run game. And that's that. Even when you go look at the 49ers, Purdy got to be perfect. He can't slack up because you give Kansas City and them an opportunity, Patrick is going to take it. And the thing about it is, once they take it, they're not gonna let it go. You know what I mean? Same thing with their defense. Y'all got to be able to. I feel like CMC can run the ball, he can get it, but again, trying to run against Kansas City, you got to really catch them on their toes in that run game. You really got to catch them on their toes because they pretty stingy. They're pretty stingy when it comes to that.
I think him as a receiver in this game could be a key factor as well. I know I said I like the linebacker play. And it seems like both of these teams have great coverage linebackers. But CMC is that type of guy. He, make one guy miss, you never know. He's out to the races. So I think he can definitely be a true threat. To your point, I saw a little bit of vulnerability. I saw vulnerability in that secondary from San Fran against Green Bay. I saw a little vulnerability against with them against Detroit. I saw vulnerability in the run game as well. And to your point again, the only question, one of the questions that I have about Kansas City is, can their receivers replicate the efforts that Green Bay and Detroit have? And again, we know they've had the problems with the drops. Why did Detroit not move on? Fucking drops. Why did Green Bay not move on? Dropping interceptions and a bad throw by Love. So, will Kansas City be able to take advantage of all the opportunities that are presented to them? Will they revert back to the wide receivers who dropped 38 passes during the year, or will they be the guys who come up with the timely plays to put I almost said Patrick Mahomes over the top?
Yeah, and I think that's just the key. Like I think I'm not gonna say that's the only key because there's other keys to it, but that is the main key. If you don't have wide receivers and they can't catch the ball, you're gonna be struggling all game. And we've seen it. We've seen it from KC during the regular season. But at the same token, like I said, what gets 49ers in trouble is the bad picks. the bad reads. Their receivers not doing anything. You're like, again, it's funny because Kyle Shanahan don't like running the ball, but then they get away from running the ball. And I'm like, you got to stay balanced. You got to be able to stay balanced and not panic. And I can just see it all over if that happens. Because, like, again, once KC gets up, and I'm not sure if that just was game plan for when they played against the Ravens, but once KC gets up, sometimes I feel like KC kind of lacks a little bit, like kind of like sits back and like in a reserve and try these little cute little pretty little plays and tricks and stuff like that, and they can, in a sense, let the other team come back on them to where now it's like, okay, we gotta quit playing. I don't feel like they're gonna do that here, but I'm just like, hey, if you're gonna be cute when you got like a 2-point. Two or 3-point lead, not 3-point lead, but 2 or 3 score lead on your opponent. Don't do that when they can come back. And if Baltimore could have got their act together, they could have easily came back on KC. Easily.
Mm-hmm. And as badly as they played, as badly as Lamar played in that game, Say Flowers had the fumble. Jerry Sneed made a great play at the goal line. I mean, that was a one-score, ended up being a one-score game, and, he was going into the end zone. So who knows what the trajectory of that game would have been if he holds onto the football just a fraction of a second, longer.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a textbook play by him, too, by the way. Textbook. That's how you defend. That's how you defend.
So I got a couple of the over-under player props. So they got Brock Purdy at over or under 249.5 passing yards.
249.
I'm going with the under.
I'm gonna take it under too.
Yeah.
This is a good secondary he's gonna be going up against.
Yeah, he's not going against
it definitely is. I think that here's the thing: like they got the run game going. They got a balanced attack going against us. They were able to score, and that was basically only for a half. And he threw for 267 with 51-yard gifts that we gave him. I'm gonna go over. I think they're gonna have a little bit tougher time running the football. I think they're gonna have to attack through the air. I think they do have enough weapons that they can complete passes and move the ball through the air. I don't know if he goes much over 249, but I'm gonna go over.
Oh, okay. And
you write these down. So I put these in FanDuel. I mean, it's like 249. I thought I'd make a couple dollars. Perfect.
So Patrick Mahomes, they have it set at 260 over or under.
260.
I can see the over. Yeah, I can see it. He's gonna be right there or over. Probably about
my boy Golf just almost threw for 300 on him, and he had a couple drops up in there. So yeah, he can, what I'm saying, he should get 260.
All right, Christian McCaffrey rushing and receiving total yards at 129.5.
You said Chris McCaffrey at who?
Christian McCaffrey 129.5. That is rushing and receiving. I ain't gonna lie.
Who made them calculations?
Hey, this is what I see right here.
Vegas.
I mean, rushing is 89.
A couple dollars.
Like,
I'm gonna take the under. I'm gonna take the under.
Yeah, I can see I feel like he'll have more rushing than probably receiving. So yeah, I'm gonna take the under on that.
Okay.
He'll be close though. But I'm gonna take the under.
Hold on, my eyes hurt. Been reading all day.
Come on, young man.
Yeah,
what you mean, young man?
Debo Samuel's over or under reception set at 4.5. I'm taking the over.
Yeah, I'm gonna go over. 4.5. Yeah, I'm gonna go over.
And you said over receptions?
Yeah, receptions.
Yeah, over.
All right. And they have Rashid Rice at 6.5 receptions.
I'm gonna go to over on that one.
That's a little high for me. 7. He got to catch the 7. I don't know. I'm gonna go high for me. That's a little high for me. He gonna have to be. That's the man. That's MVP status right there. 7 catches.
Hey.
I see your point.
You warming up. He warming up.
I'm gonna have to take the under. I have to take the under, big dog.
You gonna take the under?
And where's Pacheco? Pacheco has all right. They have Pacheco over or under rushing yards 69.5.
You said what's the number?
69.5.
69.5. Ooh, I'm gonna give him the over, man.
Yeah, 68 last game, right?
24 carries, 68, and he owed you once. I'm going. Hey, listen, I'm going over on this one.
It was how many?
69.5.
Yeah, I might have to take that. Niners run defense been leaky, man.
And I can see the over.
All right. Okay, so let's see.
Getting down to the nitty gritty here.
Yeah, let's get into the nitty gritty, y'all. So, what are y'all keys to the game?
Keys to the game. Catch for KC. Catch the ball for KC. Run the ball for KC. Don't get too cute. Okay, don't get too cute. For the 49ers, no interceptions. Stay balanced. Kyle Shanahan, run the ball.
I think you've been feeling like that since like 2018. You've been feeling, you know what I'm saying, like run the rock type situations with Kyle Shanahan. You know what I mean?
I've been feeling like that since 2016.
2016, that's when I was. 2016. But listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. Whoever the same rules apply for last week. Whoever wins the turnover battle, whoever wins the rushing battle, like you said, DT, whatever's front offensively and defensively can control the trenches is going to win this game, man. And that's my key. Who wins the turnover battle? Who wins the rushing battle? And time possession is probably going to win this game.
I like all y'all points. I think the biggest thing for the 49ers is we saw the Packers game and we saw the Lions game. They both started out slow and they should have lost those games. The 49ers need to come in the game and start fast. And even if you don't start fast, you got to hold your own. Because Patrick Mahomes, it's hard to beat him when you're playing 4 quarters unless you take him to overtime. I heard a Chiefs fan said that, and I had to think about it. Yeah. Really had to think about it. He lost to Tom Brady his first year in OT. Didn't get a chance to get the ball. He lost to Joe Burrow in overtime. Had the ball, turned the ball over. The one time he actually lost in 4 quarters of any high caliber setting was 2020 against Tom Brady in the Super Bowl when they got boat race. So all I got to say for the 49ers, bro, look, y'all started off slow the past 2 games. Teams were running the ball on you. Teams had decisive schemes against you. Y'all got to come up and show up. Because if you let Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes get up on the lead and they have the defense now to hold their own, it's going to be hard to find the ways to get in the end zone in this game. So now we're going to go ahead and do our picks. And I'm going to go ahead and go off, man. Look, my heart says the 49ers. I would love to see Trent get a ring. Love to see CMC get a ring. Love to see this 49ers team that has always been there get a ring. But man, this Chiefs defense is nasty, y'all. And it's something about every time when I was younger, you know the old saying, never doubt Tom Brady, never doubt Patrick Mahomes, y'all. So until I wake up Sunday morning with a little bit more confidence, I'm gonna take the Kansas City. I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs by a nail biter. I got the Chiefs winning 27-24.
That's close. That is. Look. You got one more time to be sitting over there.
I'm just saying that's not over though. That's not over. That's not 51. That's not over. That's not over.
That's not over. Now, I did not have this on my bingo card, just like I didn't have a lot of things on my bingo card.
Minus four. 27-20.
Minus 4. Oh, Lord.
Minus 4.
Minus 4.
I forgot about I said that.
No, you good. Listen, it's all subjective, baby. Hedge your bets.
I'm dead. But no, I did. I didn't have this on my bingo card. It's like a lot of things I didn't have on my bingo card for this year. A lot of things that have happened. So I'm over here checking my boxes. I said this, and this is just my biasy. I said until Kyle Shanahan apologizes and admit that he did wrong with my team, he will never win the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Never won a Super Bowl.
Where you want him to admit this to? Who you want this to?
I want him to admit this to the world that he threw that game.
He threw it. Okay.
Threw the game.
Hey, that might go to the grave.
Look. Look like he will never be a Super Bowl champion. Okay.
Damn. Okay. That sounds like a curse. That sounds like a hex.
I said, look, he'll never.
Do your 49er friends know that you feel this way? You feel so strongly about this?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
He even actually, and then it's so funny because they asked him about the 28-3, and he was just like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm straight. There's no." I'm like, and that's why you're gonna lose. But anyway, that's just me. But no, again. Mahomes and them have been there. They have struggled this season. This is not one of the better teams that we have seen over the past of the course of Patrick Mahomes. The Kansas City Chiefs are now becoming what we used to think about the New England Patriots. Used to hate them. Couldn't stand seeing them. Couldn't stand seeing Brady, Belichick, Edelman, Gronk. We couldn't stand seeing none of them. Even going back to some of the other teams, we could not stand none of it at all. Just can't. And that's what the Kansas City Chiefs is. But I'm sorry, NFL fans, for whatever reason, Patrick Mahomes is just special. Just like we thought Brady was special, Patrick Mahomes is special. Again, so I'm gonna go KC. Sorry, 49ers, maybe next year. Next year.
I don't know about next year.
Again, it sounds like until you get that apology, you don't give a damn about the 49ers.
Yeah. They got to win, bro.
But the thing is, the 49ers started off this season hot. They started off the season hot. They started off as favorites. It didn't look like nobody could beat them. The way the NFC conference as a whole was this season, it just looked like they were unbeatable. Even with the Detroit Lions on their tails, and even looked like the Detroit Lions at one point were hey, we're the team that can't be beat. Not the 49ers. We're the team that can't be beat. But when we finally got the game that we wanted to see between them, I know Henry don't want to hear this, but Dan Campbell decided that he Dan Campbell didn't want it as much as the fans and the team wanted it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Motherfucking apology.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Dan Campbell didn't sitting over here didn't want it like that. I'm sorry, he didn't want it like that, and I feel bad for the Detroit Lions because, again, I think a lot of people wanted to see this Detroit Lions team go to the Super Bowl and see them play against a Lamar Jackson, you know what I mean, or even a Patrick Mahomes, if whatever the case. I feel like the AFC was a little bit closer, but at the end of the day, what I saw in the playoffs is not what I want to see in a Super Bowl. They didn't show their strength that they showed earlier this season. They didn't. I'm going to be perfectly honest. They did not show the strength. The same 49ers team was not the same 49ers team that we saw. We all know teams change over the course of the season. But if you're starting off hot like that, I expect you to continue to be hot like that. And if you're starting off as a favorite like that, I expect you to sit over there and do that. But I didn't see that in the playoffs. They got ran through by Green Bay and literally almost got ran through by the Detroit Lions. Okay. So I'm going KC. I am going KC.
Yeah, and I'm gonna echo both of you guys' sentiments. I think that San Francisco definitely looks the part. They have the exciting offense. They have the skill position players. But again, though, what we've seen in them in the playoffs is that they're a little bit vulnerable. We've been talking about how vulnerable Kansas City has been all year, but they steadily win the games they're supposed to win. And I think this is just going to be a situation where I look on paper and it looks like San Francisco may be the better team. But when I look at the key elements, who has the better defense? I think Kansas City probably has the better defense. Who has the better coach? I think Kansas City probably has the better coach in Andy Reid, although it may be close. And let's give some love to Spagnuolo, who's been dialing up some great defensive game plans all year. And then I look at who has the best player in this game, and the best player in this game is probably Patrick Mahomes. One thing I've learned the last couple of weeks, you see, I'm talking about taking all these notes. I took a lot of notes last week, and I took a lot of parlays with Baltimore in it, and it didn't work out for me. So one thing I learned that it's extremely hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. One thing you said, Lady E, is that they're becoming the next New England Patriots squad. And New England was a little bit unique for me because I was already a Tom Brady fan. I wasn't the biggest New England fan, but what happens even when you're rival, you don't like what's going on. If you see what's going on objectively and you see that it's successful, you kind of have to, give it, its props. And that's kind of where I'm at with Kansas City. I'm kind of sitting here like until somebody knocked them off whatever form, version they are probably the betting favorite. So I'm going with, unfortunately, I'm going with, Kansas City Chiefs in this. It's all three of us. I don't know what our record is when we all choose a team, but I just think, again, best defense, best coach, best player overall. They're very, very experienced. I know San Francisco has been here fairly recently, and a lot of these players have been here before. But again, though, I'm going with Patrick Mahomes in the tight one. 23-20. 23-20. I don't think they make the same mistakes that Green Bay and the Lions make. I think they stay committed to the run. I think they have success through the running game. I think Patrick Mahomes has another either great or workman-like performance. Last week, 39, 241 yards, one touchdown.
Yeah.
Very game manager-ish, but made all the plays that he needed to make. If he needed to drop it down to Pacheco, he did that. If he needed to get the ball in the hands of Justin Watson, he did that. Noah Gray, CEH, whoever these folks, whoever out there, be where you're supposed to be, and I'm going to put this rock on you. Please catch it. That's all I'm saying. Be where you're supposed to be. I'm going to put the rock on you. Turn around, get your hands up. Rock is coming, baby. Catch it. And, he's doing it, man. And he's raising those guys play around him. So until I see it, and I may be hating on San Fran. Listen, great win for y'all, and I may still be mad, but hey, fuck it. Mahomes. 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 And shout out to his daddy, man. Free his daddy, man. Hey, somebody get him a drive. Mahomes, get your daddy a drive. Get your daddy a driver, man. You and Brittany, y'all can't be letting them drive like that. Y'all know he got a little issue, got a little problem. Help your daddy out. How Jackson? How your little brother drive him around? He ain't doing nothing.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
He ain't doing nothing. Tell him take a TikTok break and drive daddy around, man. Daddy out here catching cases and stuff.
Pop's out here a lot. That's great.
You know what I'm saying? Support black fathers out here, man. Damn.
Facts.
Hey, so that was our picks. Looks like we're going all Chiefs until proven otherwise. Like I said, I gotta sleep. I gotta pray for the 49ers because
you know what? I think to Lady E's point, Purdy. That's the question mark. He's got to make a believer of us. because his direct. I mean, he's not playing against them, but his direct. You know what I'm saying? Competition is one of the best to ever do it. You know what I'm saying?
And for Purdy too, it's like you look at Kansas City secondary, Darius Sneed, All Pro, McDuffie, All Pro. Like they are deep in their secondary. They rotate their safeties well. Now it's going to be different in a sense because the 49ers wide receivers are far and better than the Ravens wide receivers. But it's all going to be about Purdy making plays on time, and when there is no time, can he create opportunity for Debo, Ayuk, McCaffrey, and George Kittle when there's no time for him? That's going to be a key.
One last point. I don't know if we did X factors, but real quick, George Karlaftis, pride of Purdue. That guy's been playing big time football in the second half of the season. He's basically filled in as their secondary pass rush guy outside of Chris Jones, creating that rush on the outside. He's a big key this week. Can San Francisco effectively block him? Is going to be a key point in this game.
Yep. Man. I like that. I
like that too. But
I like it.
That's all we got for the show, y'all. This is our Super Bowl picks.
Last game of the year.
Last game of the year, bro. But we're still gonna be up here. We might take a little break, but we still be up here because we got the NFL Combine. We got NFL free agency.
Who coming to Detroit for the draft? What up, though?
I know Deuce trying to slide up there. Deuce trying to slide.
That's his second home. He don't like to say it. That's his second home. Cuzzo, come on. We got you, Cuzzo. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna show you how to do it. I came to DC. I ain't getting no mambo. I ain't getting no mambo sauce, no chicken wings, no rice. I'm gonna show you how to do it, Deuce. Come on down.
Oh man.
Oh Lord.
We getting lamb chops from the local spot.
Oh wow. Look, don't trust them local spots, Deuce.
I ain't gonna take it nowhere hazardous. We're gonna support the local economy. That's what we do here.
Look, all right.
All right, y'all. We're gonna see y'all next week as we recap the Super Bowl, who wins and why did they win, and we get ready for a big offseason for the Commanders, Falcons, and Detroit Lions, and much more in the NFL teams. This is Enter the Lab podcast. We'll see you guys next week.